Hello everyone, Scoot-A-007 here, bringing you another exciting game in the 2008 replay with Inside Pitch. In today's game, we have the 1-1 Arizona Diamondbacks taking on the 1-1 Cincinnati Reds. And here is the starting lineup for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Leading off, the center fielder, Chris Young. Batting second, the first baseman, Chris Burke. Batting third, the second baseman, Orlando Hudson. Batting fourth in the cleanup position, the left fielder, Eric Burns. Batting fifth, the shortstop, Stephen Drew. Batting sixth, the third baseman, Mark Reynolds. Batting seventh, the right fielder, Justin Upton. Batting eighth, the catcher, Bobby Hammock. And batting ninth, the pitcher, Doug Davis. On the mound for the Reds, it is Johnny Cueto. 9 wins, 14 losses, 4.81 E-1 ERA. 174 innings pitched, allowed 178 hits, 158 strikeouts, and 67 walks. We're here at Great American Ballpark. That gives a +1 to strikes, nothing to home runs, and nothing to walks. And with that, we are ready to start as Johnny is done warming up. And Chris walks into the batter's box. He's batting a 143 average. Here's the pitch. And that is 5-1. 5-1's a wild pitch. We're going to re-roll. And that's going to be 6-5. 6-5 is a strike. That's a 14. That's a 1. Struck him out. Chris Burke batting a 1,000. Batting a 100 is batting 1,000. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 4-4. 4-4 is a blank. And that's going to be 3-1. 3-1's a single past the right fielder. And with that, Chris gets on base. All right, infield going to double play depth as Orlando Hudson batting a 556 average. Strategy rolls a 7. Diamondbacks holding on strike. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 4-4. 4-4 is a strike. That's a 10. The 17 is too high. And that's going to be a 1-3. 1-3 is going to be a single past the shortstop. And with that, Burke does not advance. He stays at second. He needs a base run of a 5-6. He has a 3, so he holds. Eric Burns now up, batting a 222 average. Infield at normal depth. Strategy rolls a 15. Here's the pitch. 2-2. 2-2 is a strike. That's a 9. The 18 is too high. And that's going to be a 3-5. 3-5 is a ground ball to the shortstop. And that's going to be a play at first only. So Burke and Orlando move to second and third respectively. And out number 2. Diamondbacks have a runner in scoring position as Stephen Drew, the shortstop, batting a 333 average. Strategy rolls a 17. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be 5-4. 5-4 is a strike. That's a 9. That's an 8. He struck him out. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. We head to the bottom of the first. And here is the starting lineup for the Cincinnati Reds. Leading off, the center fielder, Ryan Field. Batting second, the shortstop, Jeff Kippinger. Batting third, the right fielder, Ken Griffey Jr. Batting fourth, in the cleanup position, the second baseman, Brandon Phillips. Batting fifth, the left fielder, Adam Dunn. Batting sixth, the third baseman, Andy Phillips. Batting seventh, the first baseman, Scott Hattenberg. Batting eighth, the catcher, Paul Bacco. And batting ninth, the pitcher, Johnny Cueto. On the mound for the Diamondbacks, it is Doug Davis. Doug Davis, 6 wins, 8 losses, a 4.32 ERA, 146 innings pitched, allowed 160 hits, 112 strikeouts, and 60 walks. All right, here's the pitch to Ryan. And that's going to be a 3-3. 3-3 is going to be a walk result. That's a 7. The 18 is too high. 5-3. 5-3 is a double star 2. And that is a ground ball to the third base, Reynolds, who takes it, throws it across the horn over to Buke for out number 1. And that's going to bring up Jeff Kippinger, batting a .333 average. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be 3-2. 3-2 is going to be a double question mark. And that's going to be a single on a 1-3. That's a 7. Too high. 5-6. That's a double star 3. And that's a ground ball to the shortstop, Drew. Takes it once again, makes that play over to first for out number 2. Ken Griffey Jr. batting a .375 average. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be 5-2. 5-2 is a strike. That's a 10. That's a 9. And they struck him out. So 1-2-3 inning for the Reds. 3 up, 3 down. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 1, scores tied at 0. Mark Reynolds batting and we have Mark, Justin, and Robbie due up for the Diamondbacks. Mark Reynolds batting a .444 average. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be 3-3. 3-3 is going to be a range play. And that's going to be a 4-6. Fly ball out there to Dunn. Dunn's range is on a 1-3. That's a 6. Too high, and he gets to first. Mark Reynolds now. Reynolds takes first. Justin Upton batting a .300. Strategy rolls a 12. Infield going to double play depth. Here's the pitch. 6-4. 6-4 is a strike. That's a 15. That's a 9. He struck him out. All right, infield still at double play depth. Bobby Hammock now up. Here's the pitch. Strategy roll is a 4. That's going to be 4-3, 4-3. We go to the Great American Ballpark card. Here's the... And that's going to be 2-4. 2-4 is going to be a double star 3. And that's going to be a ground ball to second. And let's see. The roll, that's going to be a force out for Reynolds. And Hammock takes first. 2 outs, that's going to bring up the pitcher, Doug Davis. Strategy roll is a 1. Here's the pitch. 2-5, 2-5 range play at Great American Park. Once again, we go to the ballpark card. That's going to be 3-5, question mark 9. That's a 6. 6 is going to be a single to Dunn. No, single to Griffey. Griffey's range is a 2. That's a 4, and he gets on. Now let's see, does Hammett get an extra base out of this? He has a 5. That's a 4. He advances. And with that, the Diamondbacks now have runners on the corners, infield at normal depth. Strategy roll is a 7. Here's the pitch. 3-3. That's going to be a range play. And that's going to be a 6-5. Question mark 8. That's a 3 for a single for Chris. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. And Fuels ranges on a 1-2. That's a 1. He gets the play. And the Diamondbacks leave 2 stranded, no runs, 2 hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the second. It is Brandon, Adam, and Andy due up for Cincinnati. Brandon Phillips batting a .444 average. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be 5-5. 5-5 is a wild pitch. We're going to re-roll. And that's going to be 5-1. 5-1 is a blank. And that's going to be 5-5. 5-5 is a ground ball to first for out number 1. Adam Dunn. Here's the pitch. 2-5. 2-5 is going to be a walk plus. So we add 10. That's a 32. That's a 15. And he walked him. Andy Phillips. Here's the pitch. Strategy rolls an 8. Infield still at normal depth. 4-4. 4-4 is a blank. And that's going to be a 5-3. 5-3 is a fly out to Upton. Sorry, that's a double. I was reading that card wrong. That is a double, so let's see if we have any other advancement here. We have a 6. Lead runner thrown out. But if the check runner's BR is greater than the roll, he advances. It is not. That's a 1. That's a 4. And Upton makes the play at home. And that's going to leave 1 stranded on second. And that's going to bring up Scott Hattenberg, who's batting a .750 average. Strategy roll is a 16. Infield at normal depth. And that's going to be 5-4. 5-4 is going to be a walk. That's a 13. That's a 19. The 19 is too high. 3-4. Fly ball out there to Burns for out number 3. And the Reds leave 1 stranded and no runs, 1 hit, no errors. We go to the top of the after 2. Scores tied at 0. It is Chris, Orlando, and Eric due up for the D-bag, the Diamondbacks. Here's the pitch to Chris. It's 1 for 1, 3-1. That is a walk result. That's a 17. The 20 is too high. 2-4 ground ball to the shortstop for out number 1. Orlando Hudson, 1 for 1 in today's game. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be 3-4. 3-4 is going to be at the ballpark. And that's going to be a 5-3. 5-3 is going to be a ground ball to second for out number 2. Phillips gets it, tosses over to Hattenberg for the out. 2 away, we go to Eric Burns, who's 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. 6-1. Blank. 1-6 popped up to third. That's a popper up to third for out number 3. So the Reds retire them, the Diamondbacks in order. 3 up, 3 down, nothing across the board. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the third. It is Paul, Johnny, and Ryan due up for Cincinnati. Paul Balco batting a 1,000. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be 2-6. 2-6 is going to be a range play. And that's going to be 2-3. Ground ball to first. Ground ball up the middle of the first. There's ranges in a 1-3. That's a 5. And Paul gets on base. Got by him just a little bit. All right, infield going to double play depth. Strategy roll is a 3 as the pitcher Johnny Cueto comes up to the plate. Strategy roll is a 3, so the Reds are holding off on Strat. Here's the pitch. 4-1 at the ballpark. We're going to Great American Ballpark for this one. 2-2. 2-2 is a single pass Upton. And let's see, Paul. Throw is less than, that's the 3, and he does advance. So the Reds now have runners on the corners. They're going to bring the corners in. Strategy roll is a 9. And Ryan Field is 0 for 1, going back up to the top of the order. 3-4. 3-4 is going to be a strike. That's a 7. That's a 9. The 9 is too high. So does not strike him out there. That's going to be 6-4. 6-4 is going to be a ground ball to the shortstop. And is he going to score? Yes, he is. And is the defense going to try? Yep. So with that, that's going to be a fielder's choice. If runner heads for home, if 1d6 higher than BR out, otherwise safe. So Paul is safe at home. Johnny takes this and turns it into a double. Takes second, and Ryan Field gets on base. On that. So strategy rolls a 1. Infield runners on second and first. Here's the pitch to Jeff Kippinger, who's 0 for 1. And that's going to be a 3-4. 3-4 is going to be a strike. That's a 2. The 20 is way too high. 6-6. Single past the left fielder Burns. And the Reds tie. And the Reds load the bases. And that's going to bring up Ken Griffey, who's 0 for 1 with a strike. The strategy roll is a 4. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be 4-1, 4-1. Once again, we go to Great American Ballpark. And that's going to be a 3-3. 3-3 is a single to Young. It's an S plus 8. And Keppinger goes to third. Field scores on that. And Griffey is also turns that into a double. And we have Brandon Phillips now up, who's 0 for 1. Strategy roll is an 11. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 3-6. 3-6 is going to be a hit by pitch. That's a 3. The 8 is too high. And that's going to be a 6-6. Fly ball out there to Burns. And that is going to be a failed SF roll. On that. So Kippinger stays. He gets the hold on that. 1 out. One out. Runner on for second and third. Adam Dunn, who's has a walk already. Strategy roll is a 4. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 6-3. 6-3 is going to be a strike. That's a 14. That's a 3. He struck him out. All right. Andy Phillips now up, who's 1 for 1 with a double. Strategy rolls a 2. Infield at normal depth. Here's the pitch. 6-6. Possible error on a throw. And that's going to be a 5-6. That's going to be a double star 3. Ground ball to Drew. Drew's error rating is at a 1 to 4. That's going to be an error. And that's a 1 base error. And on that error, Jeff scores. Griffey goes to third. And Andy is on first. All right, Scott Huttenberg now up. He's 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. Strategy roll is a 16. Infield at normal depth. 4-1. Once again, we find the ballpark card. 1-3. Double star 2, and that is a ground ball to third base. And we are good on that. And that retires the side. 4 runs. 4 hits, 1 error, 2 left on. After 3, it's Cincinnati 4, Arizona nothing. Stephen, Mark, and Justin due up. Here in the 4th inning, here's the pitch. To Stephen, 3-1, 3-1's a double star. That's a fly ball automatically out there to Dunn for out number 1. Mark Reynolds, 1 for 1. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be 5-1. 5-1's a wild pitch. We're going to re-roll the die. And that's going to be a 4-3. 4-3 is at the ballpark. And that's the first time we found the ballpark card on Johnny's card. That is going to be a 6-6. That's a fly ball out there to Friel for out number 2. Justin Upton, 0 for 1. Struck out his last time up at bat. Here's the pitch. 3-6. 3-6 is a home run. That's a 12. The 17 is too high. And that's going to be 6-3. And that's a pop-up to the shortstop for out number 3. So the Reds retire them in order. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It is Paul, Johnny, and Ryan due up. Paul Bacco was 1 for 1. Here's the pitch. 3-2. That is a double star. And that's going to be a single on a 1 to 12. That's an 8. And he got that past the pitcher. Infield coming in, we have a 15, so that's going to be a sacrifice attempt. We're going to do a sacrifice attempt. Here's the pitch. For Johnny, that's going to be a 6-3. That's going to be a strike. And let's see. Great bunt. Everyone's safe with a single. Bunting a 3. That's going to go to first. And runners now on first and second. He hustled down there. 16. That is a safe. He laid down that bunt, and we go to the top of the order. Ryan Field, who's 0 for 2. Strategy roll is a 7. Infield at normal depth. Here's the pitch. 2-6. 2-6 is a range play. And that's going to be a 4-4. That's going to be a ground ball to second. Range is on a 1-5. That's a 6. And he got it. And that's going to load the bases as Paul and Johnny as Paul gets the hold sign and Johnny follows up right behind. And that's going to bring up Jeff Kippinger. Strategy rolls an 11. Bases are loaded. They're going to go out there and talk to Davis real quick on the mound. No outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 5-2. 5-2 is a strike. That's a 2. That's a 9. The 9 is too high. And that's going to be a 1-4. 1-4 is going to be a line drive to the shortstop. And the runner is doubled up. That's going to be a double play. And that is a double up on first. And that is Ryan Field gets the out there. So 2 outs. Runners on second and third. And that's going to bring up Ken Griffey, who's 1 for 2. Double, strikeout, and an RBI. Strategy rolls a 10. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 4-2. 4-2 is going to be a strike. That's a 10. The 11 is too high. And that's going to be 5-1. 5-1 is going to be a double star 5. And that's going to be a ground ball to the shortstop. Takes it, tosses it over to first to end the inning. No runs, 3 hits. No errors, and 2 left on. After 4, it's Cincinnati 4, Arizona nothing. We go to the top of the 5th. It is Robbie, Doug, and Chris due up for the Diamondbacks. All right, Bobby Hammock 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. 3-5. 3-5 is going to be a walk, and they walk him. All right, infield coming in as Doug Davis comes up. We have a 12, so that's going to be a sacrifice bunt. That's going to be a 5-2. 5-2 is going to be an error on that. Great bunt. Lead runner thrown out. Hitter safe at first base. That is a 15. And on a fielder's choice, the batter, Doug Davis, gets on with that. And that's going to bring up Chris B. Young, who's 0 for 2. Struck out. Strategy roll is an 18. Infield going to double play depth. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 6-3. 6-3 is going to be a walk. That's a 12. The 19 is too high. 2-3. Ground ball to third base. That is going to be a force out at second for Davis. And Young takes first. And Chris Buke comes up, who's 1 for 2. Strategy rolls a 15. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be 2-3. 2-3 is going to be a hit by pitch. That's an 18. That's a 12. Johnny Hand's a plus 10 to hit by pitch, by the way. And the Diamondbacks now have runners on first and second. Orlando Hudson batting 1 for 2. Strategy rolls a 10. Infield at normal depth. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 1-3. 1-3 is going to be a strike. That's a 10. The 11 is too high. 6-4. Ground ball to first. And that retires the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 left on. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It is Brandon, Adam, and Andy due up for Cincinnati. All right, here's the pitch. Brandon is 0 for 2. 1-3. That's a strike. That's an 8. That's a 7. He struck him out. Adam Dunn 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 1-2. 1-2 is going to be a strike. That's a 14. That's a 10. Struck him out. And that next is going to bring up Andy Phillips. Phillips is 1 for 2 with a double. Doug can face 2 more batters before he is tired. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be 6-4. 6-4 is going to be a blank. And that's going to be 3-2. 3-2 is a question mark 9. And that's going to go over there to Upton. Upton's array, and that is a single for the question mark result on a 1-9. It's a single. And Phillips gets on base. All right, let's see. We have a pickoff attempt. That's a 6. The 6 is too high. Does not pick him off. That's going to be a 4-1. And that is, once again, we go to the Great American Ballpark card. And that's going to be a 4-4. That's going to be a rare play. Let's see what happens. Rare play, liner to the shortstop, who attempts to double up the closest base runner. Resolve play as an L6 range with a catch being an auto double play. Unsuccessful range by Stephen Drew, single for Scott Hattenberg. So on that, it's an unsuccessful double play, but we do get a single out of that. So Hattenberg turns that into a single. Runner is now on first and second. And that is going to bring up Paul Bacco. Runners on first and second. Strategy roll is a 15. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be 4-6. 4-6 is going to be a single. And Andy Phillips will advance home. He was on second, so he goes home on a 1-6. That's a 2. And with that, the Diamondbacks make that call to the bullpen, and that's going to do it for Doug. So Doug Davis is coming out here in the 5th. We have a right rate coming up. And they are going to bring in their right-handed pitcher, Edgar Gonzalez. Edgar Gonzalez, let's take a look at his stats here real quick. 1 win, 3 losses, has a 6.0 ERA, 48 innings pitched, allowed 58 hits, 32 strikeouts, and 19 walks. Over here on the stats, Doug Davis pitched 4 2/3 innings, allowed 11 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, 4 strikes. 7.66 ERA. Strategy roll is a 9. Runners on first and second, infield at normal depth. Here's the pitch. Johnny Cueto, 2 for 2. He's batting 1,000. 5-6. And we find the ballpark card. 4-4. That is a rare play. Slow roller to the third base who possibly bobbles, then possibly throws wild to first. Resolved by rolling against the third base error rate first for the bobble, then for the throw. Mark Reynolds bobbles the ball. Error on Mark Reynolds. So that's going to be an error. And that's going to be a 1-base error. There. And with that, Reds take a 5-0 lead. As we go to the top of the order, Ryan Friel, who's 1 for 3. Strategy rolls an 18. The bases are loaded. And that's going to be a 5-3. 5-3 is going to be a strike. That's a 9. That's a 7. He struck him out. One run, 3 hits, no errors as the Reds leave the bases loaded. After 5, it is Cincinnati 5, Diamondbacks nothing. It is Eric, Steven, and Mark due up for the Diamondbacks. Here's the pitch to Eric, who's 0 for 2. And that's going to be a 4-5. 4-5 is going to be a blank. And that's going to be 3-2. 3-2 is going to be a fly ball out there to Friel for out number 1. Steven Drew, the shortstop, now up, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be 2-4. That's going to be a question mark. Double star on a 1 to an 11. That is a 14. The 14 is too high. And that's going to be a 1-3. 1-3 is going to be a ground ball to second for out number 2. Mark Reynolds steps up. He's 1 for 2. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 5-2. 5-2 is going to be a possible error on a ground ball. And that's going to be 6-1. 6-1 is going to be a question mark 8 out there to Friel. And that is going to be a single. That is a 3. That's a single. And that is an error on a ground ball as well. Error rating is on, and Friel's error rating is a 0. That's a 4. And that is a 1-base error. So he takes that single and turns it into a double on an error by Friel. Strategy rolls haven't been turned off. Justin Upton, who's 0 for 2. Here's the pitch. He struck out has a strikeout already. And that's going to be 2-1. 2-1 is going to be a possible error. And that's going to be a 4-4. 4-4 is a double star 6. And that is a fly ball out there to Dunn. Dunn's error rating is at a 1 to 5. That's a 12. That's an error. And that is a one base error. And with that, the Diamondbacks now have runners on the corners. 2 outs. And Johnny Cueto is now tired. Runners on the corners. That's going to bring up Bobby Hammock. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be 3-6. 3-6 is a home run. That's a 4. That's a 0. No home run. He gets nothing. Good day, sir, on the home run. 1-3. That is a single pass reel. And that puts the Diamondbacks on the board. They scored their first run. However, let's check here. We have a 1 for runner advancement. And we're going to check the 3. The lead runner advances. And we have base run equal to or less than. If the roll is less than or equal to, no, it is greater. If roll is greater, the trailing runner holds. And once again, the Diamondbacks now have runners on the corners. And that's going to bring up Edgar Gonzalez. They are going to let him take this hit against this right-handed pitcher. And that's going to be 4-1. 4-1 is going to be a walk. That's a 4. The 18 is too high. 2-1, double star 1. That is a fly ball out there to Frill. And that ends the inning. So no run, 1 run, 2 hits, 2 errors, and 2 left on. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It is Jeff, Ken Griffey, and Brandon due up for the Reds. Jeff Kippinger 1 for 3. Edgar Gonzalez can face 9 more batters. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be 3-6. 3-6 is going to be a wild pitch. We're going to re-roll that. And that is going to be 3-4. 3-4 is a strike. That's a 14. That's a 10. The 10 is too high. 1-2, double star 6. And that is a fly ball out there to Upton for out number 1. Ken Griffey now steps up. He's 1 for 3 with a double. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be 5-2. 5-2 is going to be a range play. And that's going to be a 2-2. 2-2 is going to be a pop-up to Drew. Drew's range is in a 1 to 3. That's a 5. Griffey gets on base. And Sigan had just got past him. All right, Brandon Phillips. 0 for 3. Strategy rolls a 17. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be 2-1. 2-1 is going to be a range play yet again. And that's going to be a 1-6. 1-6 is going to be a single to third, to second. Ground ball to Hudson. Hudson's range is at a 1 to 4, 1 to 5. That's a 4. And he takes that hit away. Griffey will go to second. And the out is at first. On that, Adam Dunn, who's 0 for 2. Here's the pitch. Strategy roll is a 15 infield at normal depth. The pitch. And that's going to be 1-6. 1-6 is going to be a walk plus. We had 10. That's a 29. That's a 13. And he walked him. Andy Phillips, 2 for 3. Strategy rolls a 15. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 5-5. 5-5 is going to be a walk plus. No, it's going to be a blank, sorry. Blank on that. And that's going to be a 4-3. 4-3 is a fly ball out there to Burns to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left on. No, 1 left on. As we head after 6, Cincinnati 5, Arizona 1. We go to the top of the 7th. It is Chris, and Orlando due up. Johnny Cueto is tired, so they are going to pull him. So we have a right coming up. Let's see. Oh, I already had them play a game. So they're going to bring in Josh. Josh only pitched 1/3 of an inning and allowed 1 strikeout so far in the replay. That's his replay stats as of now. Let's take a look at the actual stats here. Johnny Cueto pitched 6 innings, allowed 6 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 3 strikes, 1 hit by pitch. Leaves the game with a no ERA. And Josh has a special K rating here. And that's going to be a 3-6. 3-6 is going to be a error possible. That's going to be a 3, but that's going to be a strike. Strikeout number 1, and that's going to bring up Chris Buke, who's 1 for 2. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 4-2. 4-2 at the ballpark. That's a 19. The 19 clears the special K rating. 4-6. And that is a home run. Actually, that is an out. Out to right field. 2 outs. And Orlando Hudson comes up. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be 6-1. 6-1 is going to be a possible error on a ground ball. That's a 7. He struck him out. Sing, take me out to the ball game. No runs, no hits, no errors for the Diamondbacks. As going into the 7th inning stretch. Let's take a look at the score, at the box score so far. Arizona scoring their only run in the 6th inning. Cincinnati scoring in the 3rd and in the 5th for the 5 runs so far. Both teams have committed 2 errors in this game. It's going to be Scott, Paul, and Josh due up for the Reds. Here's the pitch to Scott. Scott is 1 for 3. And then is going to be a 6-3. 6-3 is going to be a double star. Fly ball out there to Young for out number 1. Paul Bacco, 3 for 3. Here's the pitch. 1-5. 1-5 is going to be a possible error. And then it's going to be a 4-4. 4-4 is going to be a error. Hudson's error rating is at a 1 to 4. That's a 9. That's an error. And that is a one-base error. So with that, Hudson gets an extra base, goes to second, and gets the hold sign. So they are not going to let Josh take this hit. And once again, so Josh is not going to take this hit. They are going to bring in a pinch hitter. And who are they going to bring in? They're going to bring in Jerry Hairston. Average so far, average in actual stats is a 326. They're going to bring in a right-handed, they're going to bring in Jerry Hairston to pinch hit. Here's the hit. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 5-6. And that's going to be at the ballpark. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 2-6. 2-6 is going to be a ground ball to Hudson. And that's going to be out at first. Paul will advance. And runner now on third. So the Reds have a runner in scoring position as we go to the top of the order. Ryan Field, here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 3-1. 3-1 is going to be a home run. That's a 12. Ryan has a 0. And once again, denied the home run. 4-1 is going to be a ground ball. And that's going to be out number 3. So that retires the side as the Reds bring in they're going to bring in Bill Ray, their left-handed pitcher. Bill Ray's 2 wins, 2 losses, has a 2.87 ERA, 47 innings pitched, allowed 50 hits, 54 strikeouts, and 19 walks. He has to face Eric, Steven, and Mark. And here's the pitch. Actually, Eric, they are not going to let Eric take this hit. They're going to the bench for their left fielder, and they are going to bring in Jamie. They're going to bring in Jamie Tona to take this hit. And that's going to be a 4-2. 4-2 is going to be a strike plus. That's a 22. That's a 3, and they struck him out. And Stephen Drew comes up now. He's batting a 250 average. 0 for 3. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 3-2. 3-2 is going to be a strike. That is a 10. The 18 is too high. And that's going to be 4-2. 4-2 is going to be a fly ball out there to Dunn for out number 2. Mark Reynolds, 2 for 3. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be 5-2. 5-2 is going to be a strike. That's a 17. That's a 20. The 20 is too high. And that's going to be a 3-5. And that's going to be a fly ball out there to Friel to end the inning. So Arizona is going to need to replace a left fielder, and they are going to bring in Chris Buke. So Buke can play many positions. So we're going to have Salazar come in. Salazar is going to come in to take over that position. So Salazar is going to come in to take over the left fielder, and Edgar Gonzalez is now tired, so they are going to pull him. And let's see, we have a right-left coming up. And they're going to go with Doug Slayton is going to come in. So they're making that call to the bullpen. Doug Slayton, let's take a look at his stats. No wins, 3 losses, 4.73 ERA, 32.13 inning pitched, allowed 33 hits, 20 strikeouts, and 13 walks. So we are, want the stats here. Gonzalez pitched 2 1/3 innings, allowed 2 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, no ERA. All right, Doug is going to have to face Griffey, Jeff, Ken, and Brandon for the Reds. No runs, no hits, no errors, by the way, for the Diamondbacks. We go to the bottom of the 8th. And that's going to be 5-4. 5-4 is going to be a strike result. That's a 2. The 19 is too high. And that's going to be a 1-1. 1-1's a fly ball out there to Young for out number 1. Ken Griffey steps up to the box now. He's 2 for 4. Has a double strikeout and 2 RBIs recorded for the game. Here's the pitch. 2-2. 2-2 is going to be a walk. That's a 14. That's a 12. And they walk Ken Griffey Jr. All right. 1 out. Runner on first. Here's the pitch to Brandon Phillips, who's 0 for 4. Phillips, the second baseman. They're not going to let him take this hit. So we're going to go with Joey Vito. Joey Vito is going to come in to pinch hit for the first baseman. Here's the pitch. He's batting a .750 average, Joey Vito, as he comes into this game. 4-4 at the ballpark. And that's going to be 2-2. 2-2 is going to be a single. Pass Upton. And on that, we have a double 6. We're going to check that 6 here. And let's see, lead runner advances. Joey Vito is caught, and the trailing runner is caught in a rundown. That is a 2 through 5. If roll is greater than the BR, runner out, no advancement from others. If roll is less than, Joey Vito is tagged as Fourth is tanged down at second, thrown out at second, and 2 outs. Adam Dunn, who's 0 for 2. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be 5-2. 5-2 is going to be a strike. That's a 14. That's a 17. The 17 is too high. 1-4. 1-4 ground ball to second. And that ends the inning. So we need a set. So we're going to need a second baseman. And with that, they're going to bring in Wilson Costello to come in. Keppinger is the defense making some plays here. Keppinger is out at shortstop. So, no, they're going to leave Keppinger in. Keppinger is going to stay in as shortstop. Phillips, the third baseman. Nope, he's good too. They're going to leave him in. No double switch there. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors. After 8, it is Reds 5, Diamondbacks 1. And as Justin, Bobby, and Doug do up, Bill Ray is tired. He did 1 full inning. So they're going to go once again to their bullpen to bring in their closer. To bring in a closer to finish, to end this game. And they are going to go with I have a right also coming up too. They're going to bring in John Atkins to close this out. 1 win, no losses, a 2.45 ERA, 3.23 innings pitched, allowed 4 hits, 3 strikeouts, and 2 walks. All right, here's the pitch. He's going to have to face Upton, Bobby, and Doug. 1-5. 1-5 is a strikeout, plus that's a 25. We add 11. That's a 2, and he struck him out looking. Bobby Hammock, 1 for 2. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 5-3. 5-3 is going to be a possible error. And that's going to be a 3-5. That's going to be a ground ball to third. And Phillips' error rating is at a 1 to 15. That's a 4. That's an error. And they're not going to let Doug take this hit. They're going to bring in Connor Jackson to pinch hit. Hammock is not going to run. So they are going... got some fast pitcher runners on the team here. But we don't want to get those injured. They're going to bring in Alex Romeo to pinch run as well. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 4-5. 4-5 is going to be a strike. That's a 6. The 13 is too high. 2-2. 2-2. Ground ball to the shortstop, Kippinger. That is a 4 for the double play. That's a 3. That's a double play. And that's the game. Cincinnati defeats the Arizona Diamondbacks 5-1. Final line score coming right up. Johnny Cueto picks up the win as Doug Davis draws the loss. Arizona 1 run on 6 hits, 3 errors. Cincinnati 5 runs on 14 hits and 3 errors. No home runs between either team in this game. So let's take a look here at the stats. Doug Davis draws the loss. That's going to be 4 and 2/3 innings pitched, allowed 11 hits, 5 walks, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts, 7.66 ERA. Johnny Cueto gets the win, pitched 6 innings, allowed 6 hits, 1 run, no earned runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, and 1 hit by pitch, no ERA. So that's going to do it for us here at Great American Ballpark. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up on your way out through the turnstiles. And until next time, I'm Scooney007, and we'll see you next time for another exciting game in the 2008 replay with Inside Pitch. Until then, take care, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.